Good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all here. I just want to, before we get started,
You notice we're one short.
Yes, we are one short.
We're missing our client.
So Nancy Thurman from Cox Business was unable to attend. She did have an emergency that she needed to take care of back home. So Christine and I will be able to cover her part of the presentation because she did certainly want to be here, and we want to make sure her voice is heard. So thank you for understanding in that. And show must go on, right? So we're excited to be here and chat with you about B2B advertising. And what we're going to cover is a common challenge that's facing us all in the industry. And we will talk through our solutions and our lessons on how we achieve success. So I'm Angie Waters, and I'm the Midwest Sales Manager with AdDaptive. And AdDaptive is a B2B advertising and analytics platform that is helping B2B brands connect to their customers and clients with superior accuracy. And Christine, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Christine Kubisztal. I am the Group Media Director at Initiative in Chicago. I have a great group of 8 connection strategists back in Chicago that have been working on Cox Business for the past 5 years, both heavily in digital in the most recent past years, but also in offline media as well.
So what we're going to talk about today is we've been working on a campaign together, and through a unique usage of data, we've been able to really accurately refine business targeting online in order to deliver very personalized messages to a very specific set of businesses. So in what is so important about the way that we've been able to deliver this is through a cookieless approach to reaching businesses online. And Christine's been a bit ahead of the curve on this, as this campaign has been actually been delivering for the past year. Mm-hmm. So we hope that this example will help show you ways that you can also stay ahead of the curve and deliver your B2B ad campaigns with superior accuracy and gain additional transparent results. So Nancy's not here, so Christine's going to speak on behalf of Cox Business and what the challenge was that they had and what they were looking to achieve.
Yeah, so back in the summer of 2018, Cox Business had come to the agency, and we'd been handling what was called a prospect campaign, which is basically lead generation for selling telecom B2B business services. And they said to us, you know, we're doing this current customer campaign, but we're doing direct mail, and we're seeing continued erosion in response rates. We're also using emails. We're not seeing the same response that we're getting. Because you've been so successful with your digital advertising, can we do digital advertising with current customers? Now, here's the catch. They have over 400,000 current customers in their database. And within those 400,000 customers, it's entirely possible that one customer could get a different offer in direct mail than a customer that was right next door to the same customer. So it was very challenging to think about how could we possibly target these folks digitally online. Basically, what they wanted to do was take the direct mail campaign and send them display ads. And I thought to myself, this is going to be impossible to try to figure out how to do this without some type of advanced targeting. So enter AdDaptive.
Yeah. So I think we can all kind of put ourselves in the shoes of being a customer, whether a B2B customer or any, customer of any brand, really. And if we got an incorrect offer, what that might mean to us and how we might feel. Yeah. So considering what was at risk, but also the opportunity that you had to gain, what were some of the things that you were thinking about that led you to AdDaptive?
Yeah, so the key thing that I mentioned, again, with all these segments and all these customers, is that the pricing structures were very different. And so it was really important that we served a message to that exact customer that was relevant to their business. So if they had a certain internet service, we wanted to upsell them to a new internet service, they had to get that specific message, whereas perhaps the business next door to them got a different message. So we had to figure out a way, again, to get to that person-to-person, business-to-business level of addressability, if you will, which really is the holy grail, right? Personalized marketing, if you think about it going into the future. So I had worked with AdDaptive previously, and it was within a building segment. where we were selling to a very specific, very niche-oriented building group. And I knew their capabilities around firmographic targeting, even down to things like what are the latitude and longitude of the exact business building, like their office location. And so we had a file of DUNS numbers, and I knew that if we could get the DUNS number to match within AdDaptive to the IP number, that we'd be able to get those messages directly to those customers in a very phased approach. So it was really important when we thought about this, like how are we going to actually attempt to do this and go down this road?
So, Christine, as you know, I was super excited when you brought us this opportunity. I knew that it was going to take a high level of collaboration between our teams. And I think, like you stated, we both felt pretty confident that we could do it using AdDaptive's IP targeting technology. So AdDaptive isn't reliant on third-party cookies to target businesses online. We're analyzing the digital identifiers of business, so IP addresses, lat longs, mobile signals, and domains. And then we are able to pinpoint the exact location that those IP addresses are. So with that, we have a postal address, and then all that digital identifier data is then matched with offline validated sources of firmographic data. So this allows us to do that really one-to-one personalized targeting towards the business firmographics and knowing the business that is at that IP address. And it also allows us to reach in at the rooftop level. So that allows us to achieve scale and additional reach that way as well. So when you provided us with Cox Business's first-party customer data, we were able to upload that into our platform and then only activate ad delivery to those specific IPs. So also, with that accuracy comes transparency.
Yes.
So we're able to provide your team on a monthly basis what businesses all those impressions are reaching, which ones are being exposed, and who's engaging the most, which can help inform your strategies. And then the AdDaptive team is also able to use that information to optimize the campaign so that we're always thinking about Cox Business's ROI and serving to the businesses that are showing a higher propensity to engage. So Christine, through that process, can you kind of give your highlight reel on what stood out?
Definitely. So one thing I want to make clear, we did not know what we were doing getting into this. It was really, it was a brand new endeavor. And so we did take a very phased approach. And we lovingly call it the crawl, walk, run approach. And what was great about AdDaptive is they just worked with us. They didn't pressure us. No, you have to put all 400,000 people right in now. We were able to take it in chunks because we knew that we could get the transparent reporting. We knew we could get some learnings, and we could iterate and move on from there. So it was really important to us that we kind of started very small and worked our way up with continued success. And so it was really, I think, what's great about working with somebody who's really cutting edge in terms of technology is that they were also very cutting edge in terms of working with us from a partnership standpoint and how we approach this. We could not risk getting a customer with the wrong offer in their hands that would have been detrimental to Cox's ultimate business success.
Yeah, and also, can you talk a little bit about how the campaign process also helped Cox Business?
Yeah, so they were, extremely excited. Actually, they were the ones who wanted to move really quickly along because, some of the results we started to see quite quickly was 14% lift over those that had been exposed to direct mail over those that had not been exposed to direct mail. So conversion rates started to go up. We saw 3% ROI return. We also saw some more attributable success within their own customer data files. So kind of all boats rising together. And having a strategic partner who they were very comfortable with, working with our dynamic ad server, working with our creative agency, working with Cox Business's website. There was multiple folks involved in this. It wasn't just Angie and I. There was a whole team of people in Chicago that were instrumental in making this happen, in Boston too, at AdDaptive's headquarters.
Yeah. So I think, so Nancy, I just want to make sure that I share her message correctly. So I've written it down here about the business impact. And so they provided us with some impressive stats showing the business impact, as you mentioned there. They saw results of this campaign, achieving 14% higher connect rate with those who saw display ads and received direct mail as compared to those who only received the direct mail. This ultimately yielded a 3 times higher ROI for them, and so it proved to be very productive in reaching their business goals. And also the campaign allowed them to address attribution in a new way as well, so this is something that everyone struggles with. And Cox Business was finding it difficult to track attribution on their direct mail piece unless someone called in with very specific information from the direct mail. And so they were able to show that they served a person direct mail and a display ad, and they converted, which provided them that clearer reporting than they had been able to achieve previously. And I know conservation is very important, so if you can just talk a bit about that, because I know Nancy was very excited about that.
Yeah, kind of an added benefit of this whole program too is Cox, who's a major multi-communications company outside of what they do for business, they've been trying to reduce, they have a huge initiative around reducing their carbon footprint and also being green. And so the less direct mail that they can do, the better. And so if there's any way for them to do less direct mail and do more digital advertising, move more dollars into digital, they're certainly going to do it. And so one of the added benefits is we are continuing to work together, even though this campaign was from 2019. We're continuing to work with AdDaptive in 2020 on the same campaign because they actually gave us more budget to work with this year because as a vote of faith and how excited they are with the results of this campaign. So it's been very exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting to hear. I love the measurable component that our advertising is able to provide to show that impact for them. And I'm really proud of the work that we've been able to do together. So can you share kind of your key takeaways with everyone in the audience on ways that they can enhance their B2B campaigns too?
Yeah, so 3 key things here. One is whenever you're trying something new and you're going into kind of uncharted territory, it's really important to find a partner who's going to learn with you and is willing to learn with you and doesn't want to just push you kind of into this right away. So finding somebody who's willing to learn along with you. We were very fortunate we didn't have any instances ever of a customer receiving an ad that they weren't supposed to receive, so that was great. Had they received one, though, I'm sure we would have gotten on the phone with Angie and Tim and the team and taken care of it, but that did not happen, thankfully, so that was very good. 2, as you're going to hear a lot today or tomorrow, and I think in the next couple of days, if the personalization of marketing is coming. We're going to talk about, I think, artificial intelligence. There's a couple of speakers who are going to talk about this digitized world and what does that mean to us, both as marketers and agencies and clients. And if that's the holy grail of where we need to go, it's great to know there's companies out there like AdDaptive who are already kind of leading the charge, if you will, in this space, especially in a world where cookies are going to become obsolete eventually. And so having that ability to pinpoint target that exact person and that exact message is just, to me, it was a lifesaver because I honestly didn't know when we got the brief from the client how we were going to do this. So it's been a great partnership. And then the third thing I think is also just, if Nancy were here, I think she would say, speaking for a client, I'm a former client myself, is that push your partners to bring you innovative companies and innovative ideas. I think had they not pushed us on this request, we probably would not have been forced kind of into this space of thinking differently. And now, it's interesting, we were talking about cookies, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of dialogue about that in the next couple of days. We're ahead of the curve now because we actually have a solution in place, and we've got some learnings. So when the cookieless world does come into place in the next couple years, we're already ready for it, which is great. So that's always an added benefit too. So if you're a brand and you have an agency partner, definitely push them in this space. It is uncomfortable, but I am sure glad that we got pushed into an uncomfortable space.
Yeah, and my key takeaway, just to kind of echo what you shared and what Nancy shared as well, it's so important that we kind of don't self-limit ourselves and we stay open to new ideas and looking for collaborative partners, especially as we see these changes happening in the industry, ways that you can innovate and use solutions that are really going to help impact the brand. So I want to thank you so much for being here today and sharing your success story. Thank you to all of you in the audience. We hope that this helps give you some inspiration and some ideas of how you can complement and innovate your B2B campaigns as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to find us.
Yeah.
Or the AdDaptive team is here, so ask us all the questions you have in the 8-minute meetings. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.